Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and I'm starting this earlier in the morning than usual today because I have seen the snitch rating. The snitch rating is the unofficial rating of difficulty of a Times crossword, and today's snitch rating is 230. Now 100 is an average difficulty puzzle. 230 is off the charts high. It basically means we're doing, I think, one of the hardest 5 puzzles since records began, which is sort of decades ago. And today's puzzle is by John Guiver, who, frankly, I'm in love with as a setter. Just the most extraordinary clue writer. Let's have a look at the stats here. This is the puzzle, isn't it? This is terrifying. Look at this. So all of the typists have disappeared. So normally, when we do this video, there's sort of somebody who's come in with a 2-minute time who's just got the answers off the internet and typed them in. Verlaine is real. That's Matthew Marcus, and that is, I would say, nearly 3 times his average time. Extraordinary. 13 minutes 48 is number 1 on the leaderboard. You can get in the top 10 if you solve it in less than half an hour. This, I don't think I've ever seen anything that looks like this before. Let's look at the top 100. How many errors can you make to get in? Oh, here we go. Okay, so there's a typist, Solver 52, another typist. I don't know how you say Chiolf. I think Chiolf is a very good solver. I've seen Chiolf's name many times, and they are real. I think, wow, okay, so 2 errors. 2 errors and 281 minutes will get you in the top 4. I mean, there's only been 46 people who've submitted this. This is weird. It's weird. What that might mean is it's got some very, obscure piece of vocabulary in it, which might be bad for me. I am going to use a dictionary, but not unless I get very stuck, not to actually solve, but to explain as we go through. The idea of these videos is to sort of be a guide into how to improve your own cryptic crossword solving. However, I will caveat that by saying that when the puzzles get this difficult, I will simply be delighted if I can finish this puzzle. So that's where we are. Maverick's just flying over. It's actually a nicer day today. It's still very cold, but it isn't at least snowing. So I've got a dictionary. What else can I tell you about? If you do enjoy our crossword content, then Mark has released a brand new video over on our Patreon, in which he solves the Times Club Monthly Special. That's a treat of a video. I mean, the Club Monthly Special is a brutal puzzle in which any vocabulary goes at all, and Mark tries to do that without a dictionary, which is well worth watching. So that's over on Patreon right now. And I think that's everything. I don't have any birthdays to do today. So, with some trepidation, John, what have you got in store for me today? Let's get cracking. Here we go. Where is the puzzle? I hope the internet's working, which it hasn't always been this week. Right. 1 across, 5 letters. Polish or Polish ambassador. Mostly utilised dispatch boxes. Polish ambassador, mostly utilised dispatch boxes. Again, the amazing thing about John's clues is that they read as sentences so often, and yet there's a lot going on here. And okay, I'm going to throw out some thoughts. If you see ambassador in a cryptic crossword clue, believe it or not, it's almost always HE. And that is because the way to technically address an ambassador, if you ever meet one, is His or Her Excellency. And if we go to HE in the dictionary, His Excellency is listed there. I mean, I don't know how I know that that's the way to address an ambassador, but I know from crosswords it is. I mean, Polish The thing is, Polish can so often be polish, and polish has a short synonym, which is rub. So, I don't know what that means. Also, this word boxes. Obviously, John is trying to make us think about a dispatch box. You know, something you might put something in if it's got to be sent out. However, the word boxes in a cryptic crossword clue, if a string of letters boxes something, they could be surrounding the answer being spelt out. So boxes can sometimes be a hidden indicator. I really hope this isn't the name of a Polish ambassador, because I won't know it. I got tripped up many years ago by, there was a difficult puzzle in which the answer was something like Paderewski or something. And they were, I want to say, they were a Polish statesman as well as being a famous pianist, neither of which I knew. A Polish ambassador mostly utilised dispatch boxes. I mean, this could be the name of a Polish ambassador. That is awfully terrifying. Right, one down. 4, 2, 3, 6. I got a dozen fish snapping and caught 2 of them. That's a brilliant surface. And the thing is, we have to ignore it. Don't read this clue and imagine a sort of angler on the side of a canal, you know, with all the fish snapping around them. Because that won't, well, it's very unlikely to be relevant. It reminds me, actually, when I was a little bit younger, I would go on safari quite often. And I once went to a place called Sand River or something. I want to say it was in Sulu. I might be wrong. It's Tanzania, I think. And one of the things you could do is sort of a fishing thing. But there's no health and safety. So what they would do is they would sort of take you in a motorboat and drop you on the side of what they would describe as a river. I suppose it was a very small river. But there would be crocodiles sort of very near you. And they would just say, oh, don't worry, they probably won't bother you. So you would stand and sort of fish on the edge of the river. Well, always trying to watch these, whatever they were called, and checking they weren't going to come and bite you. Anyway, that's a different story, and it's nothing to do with solving the puzzle. Come on, get your head in the game. I got a dozen fish snapping. It's not an anagram of I got a dozen fish, is it? How many letters is that? 15. No. Unless it, with C maybe, and caught. 2 of them. Two of them. You see, okay, and I haven't done my usual spiel. Every single one of these clues has a straightforward definition of the answer. And that's almost always at the start or the end of the clue. Now, so far, we haven't done a very good job of identifying any actual definitions. And then the rest of the clue is going to be sort of a recipe that says, take this ingredient, mix them together, and you'll be able to create the solution. So here I'm wondering if the definition of this 4, 2, 3, 6 phrase might be just the part of the clue which says 2 of them, ? Now, is that 2 fish? I got a dozen fish snapping and caught. I don't know. I'm quite interested in whether there is some anagram of I got a dozen fish, and then C would be a valid abbreviation for caught. I got a dozen. I got a dozen. Is there any famous example of where somebody got a dozen of something? Something of the If this was the, I mean, let's try in that. 14 across might begin with T. Urban could be town, maybe. Urban housing, that hurts. Duke's land. Urban. Okay. Land. I've got this one. I've actually got this one. It's brilliant. It's brilliant again. Urban housing that hurts. So let's read the clue as John intends it to be read, because of course when I'm reading them I'm trying to read it as a cryptic clue to solve it, and that is a completely different thing. If we read this clue as it's intended to be read, urban housing that hurts Duke's land, again the surface is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And yet if I read it with a different stress, you'll see what I mean. Urban housing that hurts Duke's land. And that allows us to understand how the clue is structured grammatically from a cryptic perspective. We are looking for a 5-4 phrase that means land. And the answer is touchdown. Now why? And if you can't see how the recipe works, pause the video and make yourself try and understand it, because these clues have to be absolutely precise. Although it might not seem, as when we read them, like it could possibly be an exact recipe, it is an exact recipe. So urban is town. That houses, so it surrounds. That hurts. And if you were to say that hurts, you might instead say ouch, O-U-C-H. Dukes can be abbreviated to D. That's, well, Duke can be abbreviated to D. As usual, we'll check. An abbreviation in a cryptic crossword clue has to be supported by the dictionary, with very few exceptions. Now I can't. It is here. It's definitely here. Duke there. So that's this. So Duke is this, and then town around it, and the whole thing is, the apostrophe S is sort of doing the duty of a mathematical equal sign. Urban housing that hurts Duke, equals is land, touchdown. So this does look like it's the. Let's see if we can get an E into 17 across. 5 letters. Refugee, perhaps. Cutting a couple of tons of fabric. Refugee. I want that to be something like evacuee or something like that. And then what I'm going to do is take probably ATT out of it to create a word that means of fabric. Maybe this isn't the refugee. A refugee, escapee, no. A refugee, perhaps. Reminds me of the Brian Bilston poem. Have you heard? I mean, I'm sure most of you know the Brian Bilston poem. If you don't, look it up. It's called Refugees. And once you've read it, read it backwards. I'm serious. I'm serious. It completely reverses its meaning. It's absolutely extraordinary. Okay, I can't do that. 15 down. 9 letters. Catholic doctor unravels source of infection. Catholic doctor unravel. Okay. I haven't got this, but I think I can understand how to read it. So again, this is most of the skill, in my opinion, about reading these clues, is to be able to correctly parse them, to correctly distinguish which part of the clue is that definition and which part of the clue is the recipe. Here, I think the word doctor, it looks like it's doing the duty of a noun. If we read the surface, Catholic doctor unravels source of infection. But if you doctor something, you change it, don't you? So I think doctor here might be doing the duty of an anagram. It's saying anagram, the letters of unravels, that's 8 letters, and the source of the word infection, so the initial letter of the word infection, which is I. So can I haven't got this yet, but I think if I could anagram unravels I, could I come up with a word that means Catholic? And the answer is no. I think there is a word. Universal is what we're looking for. Universal. There we go. We've got it. All right, we've got 2 in. That's good. Let's go back to 17. If this did begin with E, of fabric. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that one. I'm going to go for 25. I know I'm jumping around to weird points, but I just think an E here just doesn't look appetizing to me. 25, 5 letters, middle letter S. Edition that is covering return of American head of state. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one. This one we can do. Edition that is covering return of American head of state. Yeah, it's okay. So again, it's beautifully worded. And thank goodness I can do this one. Where is the hook to get your teeth into this clue? Well, to me, it's this phrase, that is. And that might seem a really weird point to pick up on in the clue, but seriously, that is when I read this clue, I see the that is there. And it feels like a very long way of saying edition. You know, this clue could, if you were to try and just preserve the sense of the clue, it could read edition covering return of American head of state. That would mean the same thing, wouldn't it? As edition that is covering the return of American head of state. So why has John put that is in the clue? Well, it's because it's essential for the recipe. And what is a very common abbreviation for that is? I.e. id est. So that is almost certainly i.e. That's covering, surrounding, the return of American. Well, American, it won't surprise you, is US. The head of the word state. So it's not talking about the President of America where it says head of state. It's talking about the head letter of the word state. That's going to be S. So we put I and E around a reversal of USS and we get issue, and an edition of something, of a magazine, is an issue. So we can do that one. Again, we get a checking E, which is horrible. Let's try 27. 4, 5. Reaction of terrified swallow after cutting its wings. Oh my goodness. Again, the surface. It's so well written. Reaction of terrified. Gulp. Swallow after cutting its wings. I don't know. Cold dread. I'm trying to cut the clue after the word terrified. I'm wondering if there's a phrase for the reaction of somebody who is terrified, like cold fear, or swallow after cutting its wings. I'm not sure. That one is too clever by half. I can't see what's going on. Let's go for 18 down. He says, without much hope. 7 letters. CEO briefly engaged in sex on casting couch. Okay. CEO briefly. I mean, is that saying... is that saying a brief version of the phrase of CEO might be just CE, the first couple of letters, perhaps? I don't know. CE, say, engaged in sex on cast. Oh, that'll be an anagram. Yeah, that's brilliant. I haven't got it yet, but sex on is 5 letters. And the word casting, if you cast something, you sort of throw it around, don't you? So casting could be an anagram indicator. So I think we're looking for a phrase that means couch, or a word that means couch. Now, and we've got to anagram sex on, probably around CE, I think. Couch. What is it? Why can't I see that straight away? That's incredibly bad. I'm sure that's how the clue works. I just can't see what the anagram is. Sex. So it's those letters. We're somehow scrambling to create a word that means couch. If you couch something in different terms, you sort of rephrase it. So we've got to be aware of that. It might not be the name of a sofa or something. Couch. X. Oh, I can't see it. Neo? No, it can't be Neo, can it? No, I don't think so. No, I don't. I could be wrong in terms of CEO briefly. Maybe that's not saying take the first 2 letters of CE. Oh, that's a shame, because I mean, as I was saying, once you think you can understand how to read these clues, that's like quite a triumph when the puzzles are this difficult. Where are we going to go now? Should we go 4 across? Right, let's give it a go. 9 letters. One's returned reptile with it. One's returned reptile with it. There's a lot going on there. One's returned. I mean, the bit of this clue that I'm getting a bit hung up on in my mind is the phrase with it. If you're with it, you're not like me. You're very fashionable. You are hip, aren't you? So I quite like the idea that this could end in ship. And that would mean I need a word for a reptile somewhere here. It probably means one's returned. I don't know. I can't see how it works, but that's where my mind's gone. Let's go for 4 down. 4 letters. Fur-clad creatures first in line for New Jersey production. Fur-clad creatures first in line. Oh. For New Jersey production. What? Okay. Oh, I've done it. I've done it. That's genius. Not of me. I'm so far away from feeling even remotely clever. I've done this one. This is bizarre. It's so brilliant. I don't really even know how to. I don't really quite know how I've got this one. I was looking at this phrase, New Jersey production. I was thinking, does that mean making a sweater, a sort of a jumper? And then I suddenly thought, oh, maybe it's something that a Jersey cow might make. And then I thought of milk, and then I understood it. The answer is milk, which is something a Jersey cow might produce. So it's literally a Jersey production. And you might say, oh, and this is one of the clevernesses of John, because it's so difficult to look at this clue and not read New Jersey as in the state of New Jersey. Surely that's what it's referring to, but it's not. We have to cut the clue between the word new and the word Jersey. And now let's read it again. Fur-clad creatures. Now that's actually a mink, a fur-clad creature. And then first in line is the letter L, the first letter in the word line, replaces for, so you put the L in the word mink for the N, because N can be a valid abbreviation for new. So we get the word mink, we switch out the N for the L, we get the word milk, and that is a Jersey production. I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. And now we're going to go back here. So, and this might end in ship. Once returned reptile. One's returned reptile with it. I just don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. Not sure. Let's try 5 down. 10 letters. Flag waving. Patriotism won't work with the N. Grand opening engaging 6 university cops. Flag waving grand opening. Engaging 6 university cops. Okay, let me tell you some things I'm thinking about this one. See the word 6. Whenever you see a word that's a number in a cryptic crossword, you must be familiar or be thinking about the Roman numeral equivalent. So I'm thinking VI for that. University can be abbreviated to U. So does this answer have VIU in it somewhere? Flag waving. Grand can be G. And I think that must come from money, like 1 grand or something, 1G. Opening, engaging. Flag waving. Grand. I haven't got a clue. Just don't know. Let's try 9 across, I guess. 9 letters. One regularly spending years in struggle. One regularly spending years in struggle. I don't know. I'm wondering if this is a word for somebody who spends regularly, whatever that means. Years could be Y as an abbreviation in a word for struggle. I mean, that's so poor, isn't it? One regularly spending. Don't know. Let's try 11 across, 6 letters. Wife's supplanted by female in artfully better clothes. This feels like it might be a substitution again, a bit like milk to me. Wife can be abbreviated to W, and that's supplanted by female. Well, female can be F. So can we think of a word that has a W in it, where we could put the F in instead, and that means artfully, or artfully better? Yes. What about if you artfully better someone, you outwit them. And then if I change the W for an F, I can get outfit. And then outfit are the clothes that you wear. There we go. So we've got one more. So what is this one down? I got a dozen fish snapping and caught 2 of them. Something of the something. I got a dozen fish snapping. Well done. Stig of the dump doesn't fit. Caught 2 of them. I don't know. What's this? Something of the... I'm not sure. Right, let's try 2 down, which is 5 letters. Opening of exhibition in Paris. 1 limits to Corot and Degas. Edouard Degas, wasn't it? One limits to Coro. I mean, the limits to the word Coro are C and T. Opening of exhibition. That must be E. Opening of exhibition is the word letter E. In Paris 1. Okay, in Paris 1 will be, how would you say 1 in French? UN or UNE. Oh, gas. Oh my goodness. It's... I still haven't got it. I'm so dumb. It means degas. It's a word that means degas. I think it means something. I think it starts something. Open it. Degas. Limits. Oh, why can't I see it? Opening of exhibition. That must be E. In Paris 1 limits to Coro. So I want to put UNCT. But that's not a word. And the whole thing is going to mean degas. Oh, I don't know. Opening of exhibition. Am I being dumb here? That isn't a word, is it? In Paris 1. I mean, the only other construction that would work would be that. Unect. I don't know. I think that's how it works. And I think the clue, the definition, is degas. Believe it or not. So it's not degas. I mean, it's so clever to make you think you're talking about two painters. Degas. The only word I can think of is uncut, but I don't understand where the U comes from there. I'm not in Paris 1 limits. No, that can't work. I think that's this letter here is likely to be a U. Let's try 3 down. 7 letters. City. Let's stop there. Let's just have a look. Can we think of a city that would fit? Norwich. Is Norwich a city? I'm not sure. That's going to be correct. With no affluent quarters. Actually, maybe it's not. I was thinking of rich. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it is Norwich. Good grief. Right. So here we have to cut it after the word city. This is unsolvable without checking letters. It's so beautiful. Right, we're going to cut it after the word city. Now, with can be abbreviated to W. Let's check that. Let's go over here. I mean, it can be, so I'm not checking anything I'm not very confident about here. With. Right, so with, and then the way we have to read this grammatically is no affluent, no rich. If you're affluent, you're rich. So no rich quarters. Now, if you quarter something, you host it, don't you? You put it in your, you put it in the ship's quarters or something like that. You host. So W is hosted by no rich, and that allows us to construct Norwich, which is the name of the city. Now, if this was a U, oh no, this is the Polish ambassador making a comeback. Polish ambassador, mostly utilised dispatch boxes. Polish ambassador mostly utilized dispatch box. There's so many bits of this that can be read in different ways. You know, dispatch, if you dispatch something from another word, you throw it away from it. Have we looked at this one? One regularly spending something, an at the end probably. It's not controller, but one regularly spending years in struggle. Oh, and look, this is terrible as well, because if we get stalled in this, we have looked at a lot of these. We didn't look at this one. 21 across 8 letters. Left cutting fork out by remaining ham. Now, ham is an interesting word in crosswords because it looks like it's trying to talk about, you know, the end of the gammon. But if you ham on stage, you overact, you overplay. That's correct. Overplay. So, left is L, an abbreviation. Cutting cuts into a word that means to fork out. Oh, hang on. Fork out by remaining. By remaining. Fork out. Pay. Oh, I see. No, so the way this works structurally is left cuts to... If you fork out, you just pay for something. So left cuts pay to create play. And that goes by a word that means remaining. And if something is remaining, it's left over. So we've got over, play. And ham is to overplay. So let's go. Oh, this is... No! Oh, I didn't want that. Oh. CEO briefly engaged in sex on casting couch. I thought everything... Ah! Is there another word for a CEO? Or an abbreviation for a CEO? Chief Executive Officer. So it's basically the head of a company. It's the top person. I want a 3-letter... Yeah, I definitely want a 3-letter word. CEO. I'm not thinking of it at the moment. Couch. Because I still think it's going to be an anagram of... I think this is going to be an anagram of sex on around whatever this shortened CEO is. Couch. Where is the X going in this? I sort of wanted it to begin EX perhaps, but that doesn't look good with this other E here and this P being far away from this E. Because that E, if my understanding of the clue is correct, this E is from the anagram of sex on. Supremo? That would be a CEO. What is going on? I'm going to put Supremo in for CEO. And now I'm going to try and reread this completely. Briefly engaged. In sex. Briefly engaged in sex on casting couch. What? I can't. I mean, if that's right, if it is Supremo, I literally have no clue how to read that. Alright, so we're going to have to go further afield here. And that is a worry. I mean, there's lots of clues I've not even looked at because I'm trying to, you know, I'm very much not in speed solving mode. I'm trying to spend time on each one of these. If I was solving at speed, I would be moving swiftly on from most of them, having glanced at them for a few seconds. Let's try 6 down, which is 7 letters. Effective old treasure, coffers bolted. Effective old treasure, coffers bolted. Effective old treasure, coffers bolted. I mean, I keep thinking of chests for treasure chests. Then bolted is a funny word, isn't it? If you bolt your food, you eat it. So bolted in the past tense could be ate, A-T-E. Effective, ending A-T-E. Treasure coffers. Effective old. I don't know what that's talking about. Right, 10 across, 5 letters. Alarm, having time set by mistake. Alarm having time set by mistake. I don't know. I mean, one way of reading this would be to say it's a 5-letter word, which means alarm. So I was thinking panic, or I actually thought bleep for a moment, like that might be a noise an alarm makes. And having time, I think that might be T, set by, so put next to a 4-letter word for a mistake, like a bish. I think a bish can be a mistake. Sometimes you see E-double-R, sometimes you see own goal, O-G, sometimes you might see, what else? I've made a bit of a boo-boo. Alarm, panic, don't know. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to have to try and find a way into. Let me just scan the clues. Let's just scan the clues and see if we can see one that looks like I might be able to immediately get a grip on it. Okay, I'm going to go for 24 down on the basis John might have got tired by the time he got to the end of the clue writing. Most crossword constructors will write the acrosses, then write the downs, so this would be the last clue. Small black gags could be funny. Oh, I've got it. Okay, so I can do this one. So, I said earlier that all abbreviations have to be justified by the dictionary. Well, actually, there is an exception to that, and that is small, medium. I think medium might be in, but small and large, S and L. And if you saw S and L on an item of clothing, we'd instantly know that that meant small or large size. But it's not supported by the dictionary. If we go to the dictionary under S, weirdly, you'll find loads of things, but unless my memory has deceived me, you will not find small, but it is treated by the Times as a valid abbreviation. So small here could be S. Black gags, do I know any 3-letter word for black? I know the word jet, as black as jet. So jet has gagged, it's stifled the S, and that allows us to create jest. Oh, J as well. Could we be looking at a pangram? We could well be. We could well be, because I was looking at this clue, and if this is an anagram of dozen involved in this somewhere, that gives us a Z. I got a dozen fish snapping and caught 2 of them. If there's a Z in this phrase, where is it? Could it end in ing? could end in ing. I got a dozen. Could allow an ing construction at the end. Caught 2 of them. So, dozing or something? I don't know. Can you get the out of does? Yeah, you can get the. That's quite. That would give it. That would justify the e here. So something of the. Then a word ending in ing, maybe. Have I miscounted the anagram here? It's 15 letters. I got a. No, that is only 14, and I got a dozen fish. Snapping. So that's the anagram indicator. And caught, that must be C. Unless, here's another thought. I mean, imagine that I don't think this is right, but I'm just going to say it, and then we can dismiss my ravings as those of a lunatic. What would happen if the definition in one down was the word I? I'm not sure how it could be, but if it was, then got a dozen fish snapping would be an anagram of got a dozen fish, which I think is 13 letters, and caught C and two C's perhaps. Could that be a way to read it? The whole thing means I. What's this one? This was the one I thought might start with gulp. Cold sweat. That's the reaction. Cold sweat is the reaction of the terrified. Swallow after cutting its wings. Sorry, my WhatsApp's going crazy. I think it's Ash's talk. Swallow. Reaction of terrified, cold sweat. Oh, hang on. Signs of the zodiac. Zodiac would fit. That's right. Sign of the zodiac. It must be that, somehow. Something of the zodiac. Sign of the zodiac. Anyway, hang on, I'm getting excited. I've firstly got to understand why cold sweat is right. Reaction of terrified swallow. Reaction of terrified. Right, so swallow after cutting its wings. Swallow after cutting its wings. Reaction of terrified swallow after. I'm so sorry. I know that you're all shouting at me. The demon on my shoulder is saying they're all shouting at you. You're such an idiot. I know I'm an idiot. I'm trying not to be, I promise. Reaction of terrified swallow. Is swallow eat then? After cutting. If you're cutting, are you cold, maybe? You have a cold demeanour, you're quite cutting. And then its wings would have to be yeah, that's right. That's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I feel like I've been very slow to understand it, but it's right. So it is reaction of terrified, cold sweat. Swallow, if you swallow, you eat. And that goes after a word that means cutting. I think it's cold here. And its wings is saying the wings of the word swallow, which are S and W, the first and last letters. And that allows us to construct cold sweat. And this is something of the zodiac. I think it's going to be sign of the zodiac, but I'm not certain. So how is this working? I got a... Yeah, so the C at the end, I just couldn't see that. That's really dense of me. I mean, obviously from the grammar it looks like the C is coming at the end. But how could it? It's such a weird construction, and yet it does. So what is it sign? It looks like it is sign, actually. S-I-G-N. Yeah, so it's sign of the zodiac from the anagram. And chord, and two of them, question mark. So this must be a reference to Pisces and Aquarius, I think. Which are two signs of the zodiac to do with fish. I think. That's how I interpret that. Which is very, I mean, it's very hard, but I think that must be what's going on. And is this spurn then? Polish. Oh, I'm not sure about this U. Polish or Polish ambassador, mostly. Utilized dispatch. Dispatch. No, sheen. Oh, that's bad. Okay, this, I think sheen might be correct. The way I've got that is, again, it's right back to the first thought, which was ambassador might be HE. I think it's that. And that, then we have most of the word for dispatch, which is sent or send. I'm not sure about the part of speech there. Sent. Dispatch, send, I think. Send. So HE mostly utilizes, so most of the word send, boxes are HE to create sheen, and sheen is polish. And now this one, degas. That must be degas, it must be. In Paris, one. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I thought one, it was going to be the number one, like A. But it's not. It's one as in sort of I, which is je. So it's eject. Okay, and to degas, is that to eject? It must be. I mean, it's got a question mark there. Eject. Eject. I mean, it's definite. I'm absolutely certain that's right. Limits to Coro CT. Let's look at the word eject. I'm not changing it, so I'm very happy to do that. Yeah, I mean, if you eject yourself from a spacecraft, wouldn't all the gas in the spacecraft disappear? Is that what what's being got at there? Degas. Let's see if degas is even a word. It is. Oh, there it is. To eject. To eject in the form of a gas. It literally says it. Oh, God. It's extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. That is a brilliant clue. It's brilliant. I mean, so many of them have been brilliant, but that is so clever. Milk was so clever. Norwich was so clever. Cold Sweat was ridiculous. I mean, very clever and ridiculous. Touchdown was beautiful. Sign of the Zodiac's clever. Now, let's have a look at this. Oh, this is going to be gorilla. It's the only word I can see that would fit there. Now, why? One regularly... Oh, goodness, that's an anagram. How? Okay, that's clue of the year. That's clue of the year. That's extraordinary. can you see why I think that's clue of the year? I would never solve this without those checking letters, honestly. Guerrilla, as in a guerrilla fighter, often a freedom fighter. 9 letters. How does it work? Well, this is this very special type of clue called an andlet. It's a clue where the whole clue is the definition of the answer. So if we read the clue naturally, one regularly spending years in struggle, that would define the word gorilla. And yet, if we read the clue as the recipe, the whole clue, it's also working as a recipe. How does it work? Well, 1 is this I here, the Roman numeral, if you like, for the number 1. Regularly, the word regularly spends, so doesn't have any more, its abbreviation for years, which is Y. So we take the Y off the word regularly, and those letters are in a struggle, so they are anagrammed. And if you anagram I and regularly without its Y, you can create the word gorilla. And I mean, it's just insane. That is insane setting. No, this isn't. This is not. What is this? Empress? I don't think it is that, but it's a thought that came to me. Casting couch. If you couch, do you express something? So maybe. Oh yeah. It's express. To couch something in, you would express something, you would couch it, wouldn't you, in terms of how you'd phrase it. Okay, I thought it was going to be an anagram of sex and on. But it's sex. It's only the word sex that's being anagrammed. So the word on casting the word sex, you would anagram it. So that's this E, this X, and this S. And CEO briefly engaged in that is PRES, which I think can presumably be an abbreviation for a president, which certainly could be the head of a company, CEO. So, I mean, that's how I think the clue must work. There we go. So now I've got to get this one. So exile might be a refugee. Cutting a couple of tons of fabric. Textile. That's brilliant. Yeah, so it's the word textile, which is a fabric, and we've taken a couple of tons. Now, T can be a valid abbreviation for ton, so we take 2 T's out of textile, we create exile, and an exile is a potential refugee. I've done the west side of the grid nearly. I haven't quite done it. I've got one more. Oh, I've never looked at this one. 13 down. Break black-stemmed pair of tennis racket heads. Break black-stemmed pair of tennis racket heads. What? How can... pair of tennis racket heads. So is that TRTR or something? I don't... No, it can't be. Racket heads. I think the way this is going to work. Actually, I've come up with a... No, I don't think I can see the answer, but I can come up with a construction for the recipe that might be valid. So imagine that the clue was cut after the word tennis, and there was some word that means racket heads. Yeah, I mean, the head of if you're a racket if you a racket as a criminal racket, if you were the head of a criminal racket, you'd be like a godfather or something. That could be what's going on here. Now, how would we read the rest of the clue as wordplay? Break, that could be an anagram. Black stemmed. I wonder if that's B for black and then the word stemmed. That would be 8 letters. So we're going to... Oh no, I've got an O. This doesn't work. And then pair of tennis. I was thinking, could that be a pair of the letters of the word tennis and give us T at the end? Oh, that's a shame. I quite like that idea. I love the idea, actually. This is something John would do. Racket heads to be criminals. So we're talking about the head of criminal gangs. Break black stemmed. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it's a word. Maybe I need to think of a word for break. And if black stem, if something stems something, it sort of staunches it, doesn't it? If you put a cork in something, you would stop it. So I'm wondering if we might just have the letter B, which is a valid abbreviation for black, inside something here, with T at the end. So B somewhere, a 7-letter word for break, with an O as its second letter. And the whole thing is racket heads. I can't see it, but that could be how that's meant to work. Now the terrifying thing here is that even though we've managed to solve a lot of the west side of the grid, we've got very few checking letters on the right hand side. So we're going to need to solve. Should we go for 8 down? Oh, 15 letters, no. Play the clarinet with fiddle as a diversion. Well, the clarinet. Okay, well, play the clarinet is 15 letters. So if we give those letters a fiddle, are we creating a 15-letter word for a diversion? Diversion would be a... I don't know. Inter something? Interplanetary? No, it's not. I don't know. Okay, let's look at that one. I don't think I've looked at this one. 5 letters, 16 across. One end of support, far up from foot. One end of support, far up from foot. I don't know. I wonder if this is an anagram. The word up it can be used as an anagram indicator. Let me just show you that to explain it, because it's supported by the dictionary. If you look at one of the meanings of the word up, it means, there we go, in an excited state, in revolt. So if letters are treated in revolt, they'd be anagrammed. So I'm wondering if one might be A or I, the end of support probably T, far up, so anagram of far, and it means then from foot. Foot. I can't think of what it is, but that might be how it works. Now, we haven't had a Q yet, and I'm sure we're going to get one. There's no way this J and this Z are in this puzzle if there's not, and this X for that matter, and a V. All of the hard letters are in, but we haven't had a Q. So we've got to be on the lookout for that. Actually, could that be a Q? We haven't looked at this one. 9 letters, 26 across. Earls against parishioner, delivering a pound of pickings. A pound of pickings. That's a lovely phrase. Earls against parishioner, delivering a pound of pickings. I haven't got a clue what that is. I wish I had any sort of clue what that... A parishioner? What's that, a worshipper? I don't know. Let's try 20 down. 7 letters. Answer, short cry from swimmer, guard's note in the water. Wow. Short cry from swimmer guards. What would a cry from a swimmer be? Note in the water. I think this is going to mean in the water. Aqueous. Aqueous would have a Q in it. Actually, I'm just going to put... I don't think it is this at all, but I'm just going to put it in. In the water. Or aquatic, maybe. Answer A. Oh, no, it's aquatic. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. Unsurprisingly, it's brilliant. I mean, again, this is a clue that's close to unsolvable. Unless you've done a lot of cryptic crosswords in your life. It's absolutely brutal, but it's so beautiful. Answer, short cry from swimmer guard's note in the water. Right. In the water is aquatic. How does the wordplay work? It's really not easy. Answer is A, as in a Q&A. We'd all know what A stood for there. A short cry from a swimmer. Well, one type of swimmer is a duck, and a duck goes quack. So a short cry from a swimmer is quack without the K at the end. And that's this Q, this U, this A, and this C. And that guards, so it surrounds, note. And this is one of the hardest things about cryptic crosswords, is the musical notes. You may be, I'm sure you're all familiar, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So you might think, well, that's what they are. You're right. But they could also be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. And the problem is that each of those has at least 2 spellings that are valid. So T, this TI, is the musical note T, which I think can also be spelt TE. Let's have a look at that. There we go. TE and TI, the 7th note in the scale of sol-fa notation. So it's absolutely vicious. Let's look at do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Anglicised spelling of mi, and this is the 3rd note. Again, do I think can be DOH as well as DO. DOH, here we go. Do and do. The first note, do, re. So you've got to remember, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's not too difficult to remember. Remember they've all got weird spellings, and then you can solve this clue. Aquatic, and there's our cue. So now let's have a look at 28 across, 5 letters. Avid, conservative, opposed to Labour changing sides. Again, very political clue here, which just makes total sense as we read it. Avid. Oh, I thought it was going to... No. It is. I thought it was going to involve lazy, and it does, because it's crazy. It literally is crazy. I mean, again, this sort of clue... I've written a lot of cryptic crosswords in my life, and I would just love to be able to write clues like this. Because this phrase here in the middle, opposed to Labour, after the word conservative. It's so natural. The phrasing of it is so good, and yet the meaning of it is completely different to the context of the clue. What do I mean? Well, conservative can be abbreviated to C. And if you're opposed to Labour, it doesn't mean in a political sense being opposed to Labour. It means if you're literally opposed to Labour, what are you? You're lazy. And then the word lazy changes sides, so its left becomes right. The L of lazy becomes R, we get crazy, and if you're avid about someone, you're crazy about them. I mean, it's just, again, it's lunacy. It's so clever, I cannot tell you. To be able to write clues like that is such a gift. 23 down. 5 letters, ending in A. Take naked massage after raising garment. Take naked Yeah, I've got this. It's another brilliant clue. I think I'm helped by thinking of, we'd been thinking about polish being rub, and here massage. If you massage something, you can rub it. So, and here it is actually the word rub. So take naked. That is literally saying, look at the word take and make it naked, which in cryptic crossword land means remove its clothes, remove its first and last letter. That gives KA. So we've got KA. We're going to add to that massage, which is rub. Hang on, I've got to make sure. So no, we haven't got KA, we've got AK. I was thinking this isn't going to work. AK, rub, and then we raise the whole thing. Oh, hang on, that's I can't deal with that now. That's my watch buzzing at me. So we've got AK, rub, raise that string of letters. It's a down clue, and you can create burqa, which of course is a garment. And I'm finally getting some, well, that's a better checking letter, isn't it, than we've had for most of them. So let's go for the, I've not looked at this one. 22 across, 6 letters. Redacted communique, because it's province of NATO telecoms. Well, I know what this one is. Yeah, it's beautiful again. So it's a province of NATO telecoms. Are you familiar with the NATO sort of phonetic alphabet, if you like? So if you were to say on the phone Romeo, that's indicating the letter R. Alpha for A. Juliet, I think, is J, isn't it? And what's Q? Well, Q is Quebec. So that is the province. Quebec is a province of Canada, and that is a province of the NATO telecommunication system. How does the wordplay work? How does the recipe work? Well, if you look inside communique, because it's very carefully split on the line, isn't it? I wonder if that's deliberate. You can see spelt out QUEBEC. So in a redacted form of that phrase, you could find hidden the actual answer to the clue, Quebec. Now that's 2 Qs and 2 Zs and 2 J. Oh, it's a double pangram. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a double pangram. Now, knowing that, and I don't know it, but I'm very suspicious about it. What we need 2 X. Oh no, we've got 2 X's. Actually, it's weird, but actually we've got most of the difficult letters already being duplicated. We've got 1 K there. Have we got a second K? I mean, not that K is very difficult, but it's a slightly odd letter. Can't see it. And look, we've got these wonderful answers, but not many of them. We've got one more letter or 2 more checking letters in the Earl and the Pound of Pickings. creatures would fit. Earls against. Parishioner delivering a pound of pickings. Electoral would be a word that would be about pickings, as in your selection. So could that be electoral somehow? Earl can be abbreviated to E. That goes against parishioner delivering a pound. Maybe maybe there is a word, lector. When I see lector, I just think of Hannibal Lecter. But let's imagine there was a word lector. What might it mean? It would be somebody who would read things, I think, from a lectern. And maybe there is a sort of church term for one of the congregation who delivers speeches. Maybe that is a lector. Because that would work then. Because you'd have E is put next to, it's put against the parishioner delivering, the lector. And then A, that's this A, pound can be abbreviated to L. We get electoral, and of pickings is literally the definition of your selection when you go to the ballot box. I really like that. I wouldn't change that, actually. I'm pretty confident that's right. I just don't know the word lector. Now it won't be there. A reader, a lecturer who teaches in his own language in a foreign university, someone who has the duty of reading the scripture lesson in a church service. So that's going to be it. So that must be a job given to certain parishioners. Now what's this then? Something ease? Cantony? No. Racket heads. Break. I'm only going to get one more checking letter, and I bet you it's a rubbish one. Let's check this one again. Oh, this was the anagram, I thought. Play the clarinet for as a diversion. Yeah, so it's going to end A-double-L-Y, I think, isn't it? As a diversion. Parenthetically, is it? Would that work? As in parentheses? That's something that could be done as a diversion. Parenthetically. I like that. I think that's going to be right. Now we get an H in this one. Oh, that's not a good place to an H. One end of support. Far up from foot. Far up from foot. I don't know. Let's try 19. I've never looked at this one. 9 letters. Festivals framing reproduction. Peace in Sunflower's tribute. Festival. Wow. What's that going to be? I was thinking Easter. Is Lent? Lent isn't really a festival, is it? Lent is a fasting period. Fiesta? Peace in. I think this is going to be the name of a tribute. Festival. Framing reproduction. A reproduction is a copy. I don't know whether reproduction can be abbreviated to REP. It might be able to be. And then peace in sunflowers makes me think that's a piece of the word sunflowers, and that'll be the S. That's sort of conventional that, you know, it's not going to say peace in sunflowers and then require you to look at the F or something. It will just be the first letter if that is how I'm meant to read it. Now, this would be a very useful one, wouldn't it? Break black stemmed, pair of tennis racket heads. Sort of... this O is... I mean, that O must be correct. But I don't want it there in order to read this as an anagram. Don't know. Okay, so have we got... Okay, now that's interesting. So with it does look like it might be ship. Let's try 7 down. Never looked at this one. 9 letters. Killer in plot to pick up woman next door. Killer in plot to pick up neighbour? Woman next door. Killer in plot to pick up woman next door. Oh goodness, I don't know, and this could be an H. Let's go back and look at this one again then. Once returned, mothership doesn't quite fit, does it? I don't want any talk of the Protoss. Protoss are utterly broken, so we're not going to talk about that. Once returned, reptile with it. What reptiles do I know that begin with M? Mamba. Mambership. No, it's not that. What else? What other types of... lizard monitor? No. With it, hip. Reptile. One's returned, reptile. With it. One's returned. It's not going to be somebody who's elected to Parliament. The returning of somebody is the election of them to Westminster. One's returned, reptile. Okay, well, let's just check. Have I looked at all these clues at least once? Unfortunately. Oh, I've not looked at this one. 8, so 12 across, 8 letters. Flying ace heading by into base. Flying aviation. That's right. Goodness me, that's a good solve. I was thinking of by here might be a reference to the letter X, because by, if you said 3 by 4, you would mean 3 times 4, 3x4, but it's not. Ace here is A from sort of I presume from bridge actually, from cards. Heading by, if you're heading by somewhere, you're going via that place, and then into base is an anagram of into, because if you treat somebody in a base way, you're mean to them. So we're being nasty to the letters into, and we create aviation. Now that is a decent checking letter. We get a V here. Oh. Flag waving. So this looks like the VI, doesn't it? Engaging 6. Flag waving. Grand opening. Engaging 6. Engaging VI. University cops. What? Flag waving. Chauvinist? That can't be it, can it? Chauvinist. I was trying to put uni around the VI in the middle of that. Grand opening. Sorry, I know I stopped talking. I'm just trying to understand whether there is any earthly way this could be the answer to this. Grand opening. If you're chauvinist, are you flag waving? A male chauvinist pig. I mean, everyone knows what that means, but that must mean chauvinist has a particular... Could that be flag waving? And if it is, I don't think this is right quite, but the way that the wordplay could work... If there was a grand opening... Oh, chasm. Chasm is a grand opening. Chauvinism. Oh, that's right. That's right then. So a grand opening is a chasm, as in a huge opening in the ground, and that engages within it, and this is very difficult, 6, which is VI, that university, uni, has copped. So uni is sort of captured, it's arrested VI within chasm to create flag-waving chauvinism. I mean, that's very, 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 very hard. Oh, and it's very hard to type. There we go. Exaggerated or fanatical pride in one's country, flag-waving. That's interesting, isn't it? So male chauvinist pig. Fanatical or extravagant attachment to any group, place, cause. Yeah, so the chauvinistic... So the male chauvinist pig doesn't really have any reference to sort of... The word chauvinist in there, male pig would do almost just as well. Anyway, let's move swiftly on. Let's look at that WhatsApp is still going crazy. Hasn't the Ashes finished for the day? 4 across. One's returned. I mean, there can't be more than one word that fits this construction. I've just got to think of the word. Reptile with it. Reptile. A turtle? A mock turtle? One's returned. Am I being misled by thinking this ends in ship? Is that wrong? One's returned. What is this word? I don't know. And hang on, so what did I get from my chauvinism? I got an S in this one. So Easter still doesn't really work, does it? Framing reproduction. Piece of sunflowers. Tribute. Testament. A festival, a Tet. Tet is a festival, isn't it, in Vietnam? Oh, stay. the reproduction piece in sunflowers is not anything like... It's literally the part of the flower that's responsible for reproduction, which is the stamen. Oh my goodness, that is so good. It's so good. It's ridiculous. So you've got stamen in tet to give testament, which is a tribute. And this one is going to be contravene. Break is to contravene. I don't know why it's contravene yet. Black stemmed pair of tennis racket heads. Oh, I see. Oh, I see bits of it. Okay. I'm not sure, actually. I think racket heads. A racket is a con. So it's a criminal conspiracy, isn't it? And a con is heading this answer. So I think racket heads is just saying put top con on top. Now black stemmed pair of tennis has to give Trevine. Black stemmed pair of tennis. Pair. Oh, I see. Yeah, I do see. Sorry. Yeah, it's not too difficult. It's just very... Oh, no, it is difficult. It just is. Black is raven, as in the colour. In there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore, not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. So the raven here is stemmed, so corked, staunched, the pair of tennis, which is actually the first two letters of tennis, T and E. So we've got raven in TE with the racket, the con, heading it to give contravene. And now we've just got the northeast to do. And we've got an E in this one, which is the killer, which might begin with H. Killer. It could be the name of a creature that kills. It could be the name of a chemical that kills. Or it could be... so orca is sometimes used for killer, because I think an orca is a killer whale. But I can't see how orca can fit in this. In plot to pick up woman next door. Killer in plot. I don't know. Oh, and I don't know this one. Let's think about this one again. Alarm having time set by... Oh, I've done this one. Error. Alarm is terror. And if you set aside the T from terror, so set it by, you just create error, which is going to be the answer. So that's good. Hurricane would fit there. I don't think that's right. I don't see why it should be hurricane. I mean, a hurricane could be a killer, but I don't see why that's right at all. Let's try 6 down again. Effective. You see, bolted and 8 there. ATE would be good, wouldn't it? One end of support. Far up from foot. Earth. Far up from foot. Don't know. Effective Old could be X, as in your old lover would be your ex. Treasure coffers. Bolted. I don't know. I think it's more likely, actually. This might be an old word for effective. And then treasure coffers is going to be maybe a 3-letter word for treasure coffers. I don't know what that is. I was thinking of urns or something, but it's just wrong, isn't it? And then bolted 8 at the end. So the whole thing, I think, might be a word that means effective. If something is in effect, it's effective. It is... I was thinking of words like cognate. It's not... I mean, it's just not that. I don't know. Okay, so... I mean, it's appalling I don't know this one. Once returned, reptile with it. I mean, how can this not be hip at the end? Once returned. Reptile. Once returned. Microchip? Microchip would fit. Why would... I don't know. I mean, let me just put it in. A microchip. Why on earth would that has got a croc in it? You see, it could be that. I mean, I don't know why. But one, if John was referring to himself, the constructors saying, one, you know, one's returned, if one was very posh, one might refer to oneself as one. One's returned to the country manor, as in, I'm returned to the country manor. So that would give MI at the start, returning I'm. Reptile, croc, as in a crocodile. With it, hip. That creates microchip. Now that only works if this whole clue, this whole word, microchip, is defined. So we have to read this a bit like gorilla, as an and-lit. Once returned, reptile with it. A microchip. Oh, yes, I see. No, I do see. Because when conservationists, they chip animals, don't they? And send them out into the wild with a microchip in them so they can monitor where they go. So it's microchip. Oh, goodness, that's very clever. Isn't that clever? Good grief. So this could be hurricane. No, it's going to be herbicide. No. Herbicide. Oh, that's right. It's herbicide. Herbicide as a homophone. Yeah. It's beautiful. So the definition here is killer in plot, as in a killer in a plot in the garden. So herbicide, something that kills plants. To pick up, if you pick up something, you hear it. So we're looking for a homophone. And the woman next door is her beside, as in beside BESIDE. If she was beside your house, she would be her who is beside her beside. Hopefully that makes some sense. So is this effective? Operant or some operate? No. Oh, no, it is. It's something like that, isn't it? Treasure coffers, bolted, effective. Oh no. Oh, this is going to be terrible if I can't do this. Old treasure coffers. Bolted. If that isn't E, what is this word? Edith. One end of support. Far up from foot. I don't like E there. I really don't. I want that to be bolted as in 8 ATE, but I don't see why really. Coffer, treasure, effective. I want it to be something like operant. Treasure coffers, bolted. Yeah, it is operant. It is operant. Wow. Wow, I'm actually quite pleased with myself for once for solving this one. The way it works is not easy. So effective, I think there must be a word operant, which means effective. Old is O. Treasure, if somebody is your treasure, they're your pet, aren't they? It's a sort of northern euphemism, I think. How are you doing, pet? That's something I heard in my youth. So treasure is pet, and that coffers, and coffer can, I think, be a verb to sort of enclose, a word for bolted, and we aren't looking at bolted as in ate my food quickly. If you bolt, you run. In the past tense, ran. So ran is bolted by pet after O, operant. And now we've just got to get this. Thigh would fit. Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, this is a sort of analyt, isn't it? So if we read the whole clue, one end of support, far up from foot, that would be, on your leg, one end of the support that's far up from the foot is your thigh. And then reading it again, but this time as a recipe, one end of the word support is the T. There's two ends, the S and the T, so we'll take the T. And if you're far up from the foot of anything, you're high on it. And that gives thigh, and we might have finished this, which I'm not. It's taken me, look how long it's taken me, ages. But we have, yes, we've done it. We've done it. And I loved it. I absolutely loved every moment of that, every struggle with every clue. It's right. I mean, it's such a difficult puzzle. It really is. It's such a difficult puzzle. I mean, let's see. So Mark's in there now with 15 minutes, which is, I think that's a great time. Jason James, 18 minutes. Let's have a look at the top 100 now. I won't be shown because but again, they still only had 64 entries. And lots of those entries have errors. So top 37, if you solve it at all, it's fantastic. What a fantastic treat we have had today. John Guiver is a complete clue writing genius. That was absolutely awesome. Now I will try and make amends. I mean, this is becoming a very long video, but let me have a quick go at, hopefully a quick go at the quick cryptic. By city today, turn red, black and green. I don't know. Mistake flower for flower product. I don't know. Captain who jumps as a skipper. I like supporter, cry when heart gets ripped out. Fancy is the answer there. Citadel can convert into flat, perhaps. Don't know. Perennial fantasy villain laid low. Don't know. Embrace a boring salad ingredient. Radish or something. I don't know. Food offered in boat and coach. Nice work if you can get it. Something, I don't know. Am I ahead of the game, buddy? Amigo? Yeah, that is Amigo. Gosh, one previously dated. Ex-liberal, for instance. Example. Some given no blessing. It's a hidden. It's ennoble. If I could type it. E.g. wide, extra, yeah, part of a film. Disreputable singer overheard, bass, it's a homophone. Squad uniform on dummy, knit unit, I think. Two-faced of rich spy you, almost corrupted. Two-faced is... I don't know that. It's an anagram. Turn red, blush. That's clever. Two-facedness, hypocrisy, it must be. A British liner refer Berlin. That's easier. Raised for the attention of FAO. Max's counterpart starts to support the Red Elvis's lead singer. What? Max Min, I suppose, starts to support the Red Elvis's lead singer. What? I don't know what's going on there. Mistake Bloomer? Maybe. Support of sovereign royalism? Even if... Supporter. Thank goodness. I was thinking, does that end in L or M? Citadel can. Flat is an accidental note. What's this then? Min. Lead singer. I don't know. Remove badly created AI. Eradicate, I think. Approximate maturity needed for course material. Something age. I don't know. Oscar wearing leather shoe without front. That's an occasion. Moccasin. Difficult. Inexperienced. Graham Greene. Spat. Probably. Yeah. Foreign characters. Actors. Name coming ahead of Jones. Inigo Jones. No, it's not that. Actor's name coming ahead of foreign. Is it Beta? No, it's Zeta. Oh, Catherine Zeta Jones. Goodness me. Okay. Food offered in boat and coach. Something train. Gravy train. Okay, so roughage maybe? Yeah, that's right. Course material. Perennial fantasy. Villain laid low. Hid. Orchid? Perennial and orchid as in the flower. Oh, what's that? Orb? Yeah. Embrace a boring salad ingredient. Caress. And we've got one more. I don't know what this is. Max's counterpart starts to support the red... Oh, minstrel is what it is. I didn't understand what was going on there. That's a great crossword. That's a very tricky one as well. We did get it right, 12th. But 12th after a long struggle isn't too terrible, is it? After a long struggle with the other one, let's see who beats us. Mark will have beaten that for sure, yeah. 3:43, but within 30 seconds or so of him, it's not too bad. And I will take that. So thank you very much. If you're still here, well, thank you. It's extraordinary. And I hope you enjoyed that puzzle, especially the main one. That is an incredible crossword. If you are still here and you're not subscribed, if we could trouble you to just click the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. It tries to teach the YouTube algorithm that people do enjoy these videos. That would be really appreciated. It's the puzzle we can't solve is why YouTube doesn't like these videos so much as it likes the Sudoku ones. We love making the videos, and I especially love making them when I get the chance to solve puzzles like that one. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.